Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Beyond Light Season of the Hunt intel. And as most people might know, the Season of the Hunt will be coming to a close in about a month or so. And most people are fairly curious as to why we have not seen the final exotic quest for this season as of yet. Usually we get 3 exotic quests every season, and one is missing so far this season. There is plenty of speculation about why this is. There's some new secrets that have been revealed in the last week, as well as a glitch or two that might allow you to explore a little bit further. And I'm going to get to all of these things regarding a new exotic quest, as well as those glitches and that speculation in just 1 second. But first, I just want to remind everybody I'm still doing the giveaway on my YouTube channel. The next one will be at 50,000 subscribers. All you have to do to be entered into that giveaway is like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the notifications, the bell that's right next to the big red subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below, as well as a link to my Discord channel if you're looking for any help in any of the activities that we discuss. And as always, if you stick around until the end of the video, I'll have a secret hashtag you can leave in the comments section to be entered into that giveaway a second time for this video. And remember, those secret hashtags, they stack between all videos, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, why not go back, check out another video, and of course, do it again. Alright, so the first thing I want to discuss is the new exotic ship that was hidden. I'm assuming we're going to get it at some point. This is the HAWKMOON ship that was hidden behind the Commune with the Traveler door at the end of the HAWKMOON mission, the initial HAWKMOON mission. You can now go and see this ship. It has been brought back anew based on the dialogue sequence that we get from the Crow. It wasn't in as good a shape as it was when we find it, but it's now immaculate. So you can go check it out. It's very cool. Fairly simple to get to. All you have to do is go through the initial tunnels that led you to the end of the HAWKMOON mission, and then go up to the Commune to the Traveler or Commune with the Traveler door, and you'll now be able to go through the door, and it's a fairly short walk through a small tunnel to find the ship. Beyond that, we don't really know if this particular area has any more to offer, though we can assume that it does because there are several false doors, that is, doors that are meant to be open. They're not actual barricade doors in this area, and you can actually see, if you go close to them, that there are enemies behind them. So we can assume that we might be actually traveling through these doors at some point in the near future, probably next week at reset. Now, the next thing that was found recently was if you go to the EDZ, and very similar to the same spot where you'd actually take the secret path for the HAWKMOON mission itself, there is a new secret path. This is on the 2nd level in the same building. So the HAWKMOON mission is actually on the 3rd level. This is actually on the 2nd level. And if you go to this specific spot, which is a little chimney area, and as you can see, the hole is already here for me, but if you can't find it, you have to shoot a false door or a false passage with the actual HAWKMOON weapon, and it'll open up this passageway, which then leads to a fairly intricate series of tunnels that lead to a little computer monitor or computer console type thing that is inaccessible. It's there. It looks like it should be something that we scan and have an interaction with, but at the current moment, we're unable to do so. You can see it right here. It's kind of a funny little spot. There's a weird little couch behind it. I'm not really sure why that is. If you backtrack slightly and take a hard left, there's another passage that leads up to another door that, as of the current moment, we can't get past, though people have glitched through it to a certain extent. And this door has these red sort of panels lit up on the right. Now, I'm going to assume that those red panels correspond to a puzzle that we have to do, as you do see a blinking white light as you first enter the tunnel on the left, and then there's another red light back here. It kind of all seems to work its way through all these fuse boxes that are scattered throughout the entire tunnel. Big shout out to my buddy in the clan, King David, for pointing that out. He actually worked through all the different places that the electric seems to go to and found that they sort of all congregate around these big fuse boxes. Interestingly enough, there is another fuse box in the actual ship room that I was talking about in the beginning. I don't know if you're going to have to trigger these fuse boxes to be able to actually progress further, maybe to open that door, but it seems like this is going to be tied to a quest that is then tied to a mission much like the 0 Hour or Whisper of the Worm mission. I think this is amazing, as the Whisper of the Worm mission was great, so was the 0 Hour mission, and I was very sad to see them go. Now, if you do actually glitch through that door, it doesn't really lead you anywhere. It actually just kind of leads you out to one of these windows, as you see right here on the side. You can't really go too much further once you get past the door. I can't remember which window it is. It might be the one to my left here, actually. But in any case, you can't go any further than that. There's another barrier that stops you from moving forward. So, at current, none of this stuff is accessible, and or maybe we need to actually do other things elsewhere in the EDZ to actually gain access. So, a little bit of speculation from me personally. I do believe this is going to be a 0 Hour-like mission, and the reward will be the random rolled HAWKMOON. The HAWKMOON at current has one random rolled spot that is basically a placeholder for something that will come in the future, and we've assumed that we were going to have a chance to farm for that random roll at some point, and rather, I think, than giving us another exotic to actually go after this season, we're essentially just going to have the random rolled HAWKMOON, which in my opinion is way better. And if we get another 0 Hour or Whisper of the Worm-like mission as a way of farming that said random roll on the HAWKMOON, then I think that that is absolutely perfect. In my opinion, this might be the thing that Bungie has never gotten right that they finally are. A reason to grind for rolls on a weapon that is absolutely beast. The HAWKMOON, even currently, is an absolutely epic exotic. With a random rolled perk on it, regardless, if it's only 3 options, it's still going to be something that people are going to do over and over again. People used to farm the 0 Hour until it went away, just to try to get the catalyst or to get the outbreak perfected itself. Same thing with Whisper of the Worm. These were very, very popular activities that are just missing from this season, and I think it's kind of brought the season down a little bit. So maybe with this new introduction of a random rolled exotic that you can actually farm for, even though this season has been a little bit of a slow start to the year, it might finish off with a bang. So that's my speculation. Now, one other thing that I do want to talk about, other than the false walls that seem to have enemies behind them, is there's this glitch that you see me doing right now. Now, this has been around since the actual HAWKMOON mission was made available. This is in the reservoir, and people have been glitching in here for about a month or so, but I figured this would be a good accompaniment to the actual information that I'm giving you as far as what we know about the mission, because as you can see, this is several places that we actually go to in the original HAWKMOON mission with a bunch of extra stuff. And this is a fully made area. Like, everything in here, there's enemies in here, it's all been completed. So it's not like this was something that they started and just did away with. This is a fully usable area that we just have not gained access to yet, and it's very, very large. So I'm assuming that what you're seeing here, even though we don't actually have a way to get into it other than just sort of drift over it or climb around it outside of the map, you can see inside that this is fairly large. So I'm assuming that this is where we're going to be going for this 0 Hour-like mission. I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but you know, the HAWKMOON random roll farm mission. So if you're interested in seeing what it has to offer, at least in the broad strokes, I would go and check this out. It's a fairly easy glitch to do. You can see where I went to. This is just a basic way where as soon as you're entering the initial tunnel where you went for the HAWKMOON mission, as soon as you see that first taken enemy, just turn around and there's a little ramp that kind of brings you up And if you do an about face once you're at the top of the ramp, you can actually just find that hole that lets you get outside of the map. It's easily done on a Warlock or a Titan. There was another thing early on, about a month ago, when the HAWKMOON was actually finally revealed. In glitching into this zone, I don't do it in this gameplay, but there was a place where if you glitched underneath, if you went underneath the map and glitched up into the room that had the ship in it, or at least now we know has the ship in it, it would teleport you to a very weird area. It was like a EDZ Trustland adjacent type area. It looked a lot like Trustland, but with a few very differences. And you couldn't really do much while you were there. The game would sort of end up sucking you into this wall area and basically pinning you until you died. But you could continually die over and over again long enough to get a good look at where we were and where we might be going. So I'm assuming that what's going to happen is you're going to need to go through that tunnel to trigger a bunch of maybe switches, and then you'll have to run back out again and make your way into this area. I'm not exactly sure how we get into this area, but that's what I'm assuming we're going to do. That, or you might have to trigger things outside of this actual area, outside of Trustland itself, because of another thing that I'm going to talk about in just one second, and then run through the tunnels that you saw, the new tunnels that are available by shooting the wall with HAWKMOON, and that will lead you to maybe a Taken Blight that teleports you into this area. I'm not totally sure, but in either case, you're going to be using those tunnels, either this one, the original HAWKMOON mission one, or the new one, to actually enter the new zone where I'm assuming you'll farm out the random roll for HAWKMOON. Again, that's an assumption, but I think from what we know, it's a fairly accurate one. One other thing, and I think this might actually play into the quest that we need to do leading up to those tunnels, because I don't think it's going to be just as easy as we run into the tunnels, we activate some switches that are now available, and then we can progress into the HAWKMOON farm mission. I think there's going to be a quest, sort of an extension of the HAWKMOON quest, that we're going to have to do before we can even enter in there and actually gain access to maybe that computer pad that's sitting on the table, or maybe the switches themselves. And that is because if you take out the Trinity Ghoul, now I'm not sure why this weapon, this might be a glitch itself, but if you have the Trinity Ghoul equipped, in the EDZ, there are certain areas where if you don't have to look down sight. In fact, if you look down sight with the Trinity Ghoul, they disappear. But if you just have it equipped, I think in the sludge, right outside, I think I have a clip of it that I include here, but though it might be at the end. But if you have the Trinity Ghoul equipped and you go to the sludge, that's the only place I know so far, though I'm sure that there's others. Right outside of the Lost Sector, the big rock that has the actual Lost Sector symbol painted on it. And remember, that is a Taken Blight or a Taken Lost Sector, so I think that plays into this some way, because these are all Taken enemies, at least the ones that we can see in this area. There are those Commune with the Traveler birds, those golden birds that you see outside of the door here, as well as we saw in the regular HAWKMOON mission. Actually, two of them sitting on the rock with the Lost Sector symbol on it. And you can see them by just having the Trinity Ghoul equipped. You don't actually have to aim down sight, and I don't think this has anything to do with the Trinity Ghoul, though it might. I think there might just be a weird glitch involved with it. In either case, they're definitely tied to this quest some way, because we haven't seen them before. They weren't there at the time of the HAWKMOON mission. Or maybe they were, but nobody thought to look at them. So that's all the information that I can really share with you as far as what we know so far. And I do believe that this mission will become available next week at Reset. It just seems like it's pointing there. We only have about a month left. I doubt that they would introduce something like this in the last couple of weeks. I'm sure that they want as many people still engaged in this season as possible. And like I said, because it has been pretty slow, something like this could really draw a lot of people back towards the end and sort of ramp up that new season. So keep an eye out, because there might be several things. I'm going to assume that we have to do sort of an A, B, and C quest. Maybe that involves going to other lost sectors in the EDZ, maybe even in the Cosmodrome, and using maybe a HAWKMOON or maybe the Trinity Ghoul itself to actually access different points that eventually let you bring them back to that initial tunnel, which will give you access to the actual final mission. Sort of like how in the 0 Hour mission we had to go down into that basement area in the farm. I can't remember if there was a lead up to that before we actually went into the basement of the farm, but you'd find the initial access to the mission there before it was actually available on the map. I also do believe that once you've completed this the first time, there will be an actual access point on the map, similar to how the 0 Hour mission was, where you can actually just queue it and trigger, and I think it will be this way in the sludge, actually, because there was another glitch when the HAWKMOON was initially released where people were actually seeing this mission available in the sludge, very briefly, but it was happening. So as you can see there, I wasn't aiming down sight, I just had the Trinity Ghoul equipped, and I saw those little birdies, followed them into the tunnel, but to no avail. I couldn't find anything, at least at the moment. There are 2 birds out here, so maybe that's a sign. Maybe there's another place where there's 3 birds. There was 1 bird outside the new HAWKMOON ship area. This was 2. I encourage all my audience to go out there and look for yourself. Maybe you can find a place with 3 birds, and that'll kind of give us a little pattern to follow, a little bit more insight leading into next week that maybe will help us get all of this done as quickly as possible. In either case, I'm going to be keeping track of all the information as it comes, and I'll give you more as I can or as I know it. Hopefully next week I am right and we do get the actual mission on reset, at which point I will do everything I can to farm it out as fast as possible and find any more glitches or cheeses that get it done as quickly and as efficiently as you can to make it easier for all of you. But thanks so much for watching all the way till the end of the video. For the secret hashtag, you can leave in the comment section today. Leave a hashtag HAWKMOON or a hashtag BeyondLight or a hashtag Season of the Hunt. And as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching once again, and of course, we will see you in the next video. Little!